What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about chest specialization. We are going to teach you how to bring up your chest, strengthen your chest, and shape your chest with minimal equipment. In this case, dumbbells and a bench. We've already done this for glutes, we've done it for back, and we've done it for arms, so you've got no excuse not to have a well-balanced physique if you are training at home or with minimal equipment. If you've already seen the rest of this video series, you will see that we've created dumbbell complexes, barbell complexes, bodyweight complexes, kettlebell complexes that should make up the foundation of your training week. 3 to 5 sessions per week should be delivered on those sessions. Big, high intensity, heavily metabolic sessions that are going to get you results. These are add-ons to help you bring up small parts of your body just to help shape, even if you don't have enough equipment. Of course, if you are one of our Live Up members, your priority is always the gym-based plan. That is going to deliver the best results by far. If you have no equipment at all, the Bodyweight Live Up, which is also in your dashboard, is your next best option. That's progressive, it's extremely hard work, and you decide how hard you push that. Those are your results-driven programs. These are your accessory programs that we add on top. So, what we're going to do today. With a set of dumbbells and a bench, we are going to start off with a flat dumbbell bench press. Now, depending on the weight you have, for the sake of this video, which I'm going to do in real time, so you can train with me, or you can watch it and then go and do it yourself after you've written it down, we're going to start off with a flat dumbbell press. We can play around with grip positions. I'm going to show you a few options as to what you do based on the weight you have. The lighter you have, we're going to turn our palms to face up. The heavier you have, we're going to go neutral. We're going to move from that straight into a floor fly, one of my favorite exercises for getting the pecs fired up, but it's also safe for people's shoulders, and it's very, very effective if you don't have heavy dumbbells. Really, really effective. Then we're going to move on to the next superset, which is going to be an incline dumbbell press with an AMRAP push-up. So we're really going to burn out that chest. Now, it is important that you know how to do push-ups. It is important that your form is good. Supersets aren't easy. They take a little bit of experience, and they take structural integrity and attention to form. It's important because we are going to be pushing levels of fatigue here. If you have fairly light dumbbells, my advice to you is, rather than sticking to the 12 reps that I'm going to go for, my advice is for you to aim for about 1 to 2 reps short of failure on whatever weight you have. If you do that, you're going to maximize your body's ability to build muscle, you're going to get a good metabolic output, and we're going to get the development we need. Again, I reiterate what I said at the beginning. It's important that you don't try to overtrain yourself too much. Add these sessions once or twice a week, maximum, spread about 4 days apart for best results. We're going to aim for 3 sets of 12 on both exercises, both supersets. That should be more than enough to stimulate the chest without overtraining it and ruining our performance for the big compound session. So grab yourself a bit of a drink. Hopefully you've switched this on after you've already done a complex, so you should be warm. If not, and you're just trying it in isolation this time, warm up, do the dynamic warm up on the Live Up dashboard, then we can get on with it. Obviously, if you have progressive dumbbells, you have a bit of a rack, work up a little bit to your heavy press so we don't injure anything. Very, very important that we take care of ourselves. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so our first exercise is going to be a dumbbell press. Now, if you have an adjustable bench, this is awesome because it means that each session you can vary the angle, and I recommend you do that to get a good varied stimulus on the chest and therefore improve the growth. If not, and you're doing it on the floor, totally cool, you can press and just rest your elbows on the floor between every press. Again, still a very effective exercise. Right now, I have a bench, so I am going to use it for slightly greater range, and each time you train, adjust the starting angle of the bench so we can get a lot out of it. Now, what we're going to do, safely pick up your dumbbells, place them on your knees. Again, most of you watching this should know how to get your dumbbells up. Dependent on the weight, you can either just sit back with them and roll them back. I prefer to flick them up with my knee like so. Okay, so up and up for me. Now, when I'm in this position, I'm going to try to give my feet a nice broad base of support, slightly behind my knees. I'm going to put some tension in. I'm squeezing my bum and I'm arching my back. I'm pulling my shoulder blades into the bench to keep them settled. Now, once I'm in that position, you can see my hands are probably at about 45 degrees, which for now is where I'm going to keep them. I'm going to press up, squeezing my pecs as hard as I can, but keeping my shoulder blades back, and then steady down. Now, we're going to go for 12 reps. Stretch and squeeze. Now, you need to work to a comfortable range that you can really feel your chest working, but without stressing your shoulder. 4, steady down, stretch, 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 stretch. 5, if you can't quite feel it at the bottom, 6, take your hands out an inch. So we get to here, shift your hands out an inch. 7, down, 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 down. Shift your hands out an inch if you're struggling. We want to get that connection. 4 more. Squeeze, steady down, and focus on the pecs doing the work. Steady down, stretch, squeeze, steady down, stretch, squeeze, steady down. Boom. Then we set ourselves up, dumbbells down, nice and safely. All right, the next one we're going to do is a floor fly. We're going to lie flat on the floor. So what I'm going to do is pause you just a second. We're going to give a nice quick edit. I'm going to move the bench and then we're going to be back in. But for now, you move straight into it. There we go. So bench is out. Now what we're going to do is take either the dumbbells we just had or a slightly lighter set. We're going to come down onto the floor. Remember, there's no rest between these two. Take the dumbbells. We're going to lie back. Now you can either have your feet flat on the floor or you can lie them out straight. It's entirely up to you. We start with the dumbbells up above head and we're going to bend our elbows slightly, lower down, stretch, rest the elbows just on the floor for a second, squeeze back up, steady, 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 squeeze back up, steady, steady, steady. That's 3. As I say, I'm going to go for 12 for the sake of this video, 4, but you need to be looking with whatever weight you have, approximately 1 to 2 reps short of failure. 5, stretch, 6, focusing all the energy on that chest, squeeze, 7, steady down, stretch, 8, steady down, stretch, 9, I'm going to go for 3 more, feel that chest stretch, keep control, down, you're resting your elbows on the floor at the bottom of every rep, squeeze, last one, steady down, pause on the floor, up we come, dumbbells down, safely. Now, that is our first set. We're going to take about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes rest now, and then we are going to repeat again. Cool? All right, so I'm going to take these dumbbells back out the way and bring the bench back in. Again, it's very, very important that you make the most out of every single rep, that you're feeling your body, your target muscles with every single rep you do. If we don't do that, we're not going to get the most out of these workouts. Now, obviously, when we're in a gym environment, it's much, much easier to get more out of these sessions because we have enough weight. We have a huge variation of equipment. When you're at home, you are limited. So you really, really, really do have to work damn hard to get everything right at home. When you do that, your results are going to come thick and fast. You need to ensure that you pay attention to every single rep because every rep counts. Your first rep counts, your last rep counts. To put that in perspective, let's say over your workout, you are doing 24 sets, which is quite a high volume workout for most people. Let's say you do 24 sets. And the last 1 or 2 reps of every single set, you've kind of messed up because you've been a little bit lazy. Okay, so we're looking at 48 reps per workout you have lost because you're lazy. Now let's say you train 4 days a week. Average, not a huge amount, not too little, you're going to adapt from that and it's taxing. So we've dropped nearly 200 quality reps over a week's training cycle. Okay, 200 quality reps over a week's training cycle. That's 2 GVT workouts a week. And GVT workouts are incredibly effective for building muscle. So each week, through a lack of attention to your last 1 or 2 reps, you've lost 2 GVT workouts. Over 6 weeks, you've lost 12 workouts. Over 12 weeks, you've lost 24 entire workouts through a lack of attention to form. That is why so many of you don't get the results you want, and that is why we as UP are able to get results that seem impossible, because we don't lose those 24 workouts over a 12-week period. We nail every single rep, every detail, every inch of every rep. That's how we get the results, that's how you will get the results. So pay attention to your form. Right, we're back in. Take your dumbbells. Set 2 of 3. We come back nice and safely. We get our feet into position, squeeze our shoulder blades back nice and hard, arch your back, everything under tension, and then we go up and squeeze, steady down, big stretch, up and squeeze, come down steady, stretch, squeeze. I like a little pause at the bottom to get my chest stretch. There, steady, squeeze up. Think that's 5. I've been talking. Steady, squeeze. 6, halfway. Flex that chest like crazy. Don't just push the dumbbells away from you. Flex your pecs hard. Use the shortening of those pec muscles to drive the dumbbells up towards the ceiling. Squeeze, steady down, stretch, squeeze. We're gonna go for 2 more, steady down, Stretch, squeeze. I can feel my chest burning hard now. Squeeze, and down we come, nice and steady. Every single rep with perfect attention to detail. This is what we want from all of you. Now, straight down to your floor press. Here we are, ready to go. So straight in, onto the floor. We lie back nice and safely. And then slowly down. Stretch, keep the tension in the chest. Rest the elbows on the floor for a second. Squeeze out, flexing those pecs. Stretch, squeeze. Stretch, rest the elbows, take the tension out, squeeze. Stretch, take the tension out so we can't bounce back. Squeeze, it's all muscle contraction. Up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Squeeze, halfway for me. Remember, you're going for AMRAP. As many as you can. If you don't have a heavy enough weight to challenge you, that's somewhere around 12. We're gonna go for 4 more. Stretch, squeeze up. 3 more. Stretch, squeeze up, contracting the chest hard. Stretch, squeeze up. 1 more time. Stretch and flex hard. Dumbbells safely down. Cool. Right, again, we're aiming for 1.5 to 2 minutes rest now, and then we go in for the 3rd and final set. Very, very important. With all of your reps, squeeze like crazy. Make sure you're breathing as well. This is a very, very underrated part of training. You need to ensure the kind of golden rule for lifts like this anyway, your average lift, it can be slightly different for squats, deadlifts, benches when you're going heavy, but for lifts like this, exhale on exertion. So during the concentric portion of the rep, when you are pushing away in this case, or let's say you're pulling on a row, that's when you exhale. You create force. Think about it like a martial artist or a boxer when they punch. They're creating force, they exhale on exertion. Only difference with that is sometimes when you're doing heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, heavy bench, you would probably hold your breath for the duration of the rep or multiple reps, providing it's relatively low. And obviously you're not going to pass out. So again, grab yourself a bit of water now. And then we're going to go in for your 3rd and final set on this initial superset. It's a flat dumbbell press into a floor fly. Really, really nice combination. And again, as I say, over time, and each time you do this session, you can alter the angle of the bench to get more out of it. Now, it's also very, very important that you don't do the same specialization for months on end, especially chest, because you are going to end up with very, very bad posture, damaged shoulders. So for every bit of chest work you do, you should be doing double the amount of pulling work. Try to keep that in perspective. Right, we're gonna bring the bench back in. We're gonna go in for our 3rd set. So grab yourself some water if you need it. Get ready for this 3rd set. Okay, here we go. So remember, every single rep, don't lose those reps, whether it's the first or whether it's the last. Every single one is absolute quality. We don't lose anything. So safely setting back, using your knees if needs be. Find our foot position, wide, feet slightly behind the knees, glutes nice and tight, shoulder blades pinned back into the bench, and then we go. 3, 2, 1, up and squeeze, steady down. Notice how I'm not driving the dumbbells together and clattering them at the top. Constant control, constant tension. There's 3, stretch, 4, stretch, 5. You really got to make this work for you. Stretch, pause, squeeze. Stretch, pause, squeeze. Easy down, open it up. Find that tension in the chest and drive up by flexing the pecs and trying to bring the elbows together. Just drive the elbows towards the floor, towards the ceiling, and the dumbbells will travel in the right direction. We're gonna go for 3 more. Stretch out, squeeze up, stretch out, squeeze up. Notice how my elbows aren't flared out too far to the side. Last one, there we go, safely down. My elbows are looking at about 45 degrees from my body, more here than here. Very, very important for protection of the shoulder and making sure you get the chest working properly. So straight down onto the floor, let's go. Okay, here we are. So we come back down, you know the drill by now. Feet in a nice comfortable position, shoulder blades pinned into the floor, steady down, stretch and squeeze. Steady down, open up, stretch and squeeze. Easy down, stretch, take the tension out of the arms by resting them on the floor. Don't allow that stretch reflex. Stretch squeeze, stretch, squeeze. Flex the pecs as hard as you can. Force them together. Imagine you're trying to catch somebody's finger between your pecs and squeeze it as hard as possible. That's how we draw the elbows in. Squeeze up. We're going to go for 4 more from here. Again, dependent on your weight, aim for a couple of reps short of failure, but with perfect technical form from start to finish. Last 2, stretch, squeeze, stretch, pause, squeeze, and safely down. Okay, that is our first superset done. A flat dumbbell press to a floor fly. Now I can really feel my chest already. It's working hard. I'm going to take a little bit of water now. We're going to set up the next exercise. So if you need to, you can pause the video here. If not, keep running straight through if you have enough equipment and you can move in. To give you a bit of a warning, we are going to do a supinated incline press. So you'll need your bench again into an AMRAP push-up, as many reps as possible. All good? Take your rest. See you in a second. Okay guys, hopefully you've rested, looking about 2 to 3 minutes on that interval. Now we're going to go for our second grouping, which is going to be a supinated incline press into an AMRAP push-up. So what I want you to do, we're going to put quite a high incline on this one. I like to see a little bit of contrast when we're doing these training sessions to make sure we stimulate fully and we're relatively well balanced throughout our training sessions. Now, the slight complication here, this is purely down to your ability and your joint integrity. We are going to change our grip position. So you have 2 options depending on what you feel the most and how you feel with regards to stability, security, and making sure you are pain free. Option number 1 is that we hold the dumbbells with our palms facing in. We go straight up and down like so. Option number 2, which is what I'm going to do, I'll show you this from the side. Option number 1 is palms facing in like so. Very, very standard press. Option number 2 is we are going to rotate our palms to face up like so. Okay, and that's what I'm going for. But the second option with the palms facing up, you want a lighter dumbbell. Don't do that on a heavy dumbbell. The first option, if you don't have terribly good mobility in your shoulders, stick to the first option. This second one is not going to be good for you. But I'm making the assumption that a lot of you may not have access to particularly heavy weights. So this is a nice alternative to change the mechanics and still get some kind of change in stimulus. So, as always, take our position. Good bench press position, wide base of support. As you can see, option 1 is with the dumbbells there. Option 2, which is what I'm going for, is with the dumbbells facing my head. So from that position, I'm going to squeeze up, flex. I don't quite lock out. Look how I'm not locking out. I then take my arms down, elbows about 45 degrees till the dumbbells are somewhere level with my chest. Squeeze back up, steady down, squeeze back up, steady down. Again, as I say, this is assuming you have relatively light dumbbells. Do not do this with heavy dumbbells. You can adjust the angle of the bench based on where you can feel that subclavicular, the top half of your pec, the most. Steady down, stretch out, constant control. Squeeze. I'm not locking out and I'm not allowing my shoulder blades to come apart at the top of the rep. Notice my arm position throughout, constant control. Little pause at the bottom, not going too deep. Squeeze up, and there we go. So that's the first half, B1. We are now going to go for an AMRAP push-up on the floor. So again, for the sake of this video, I'll do somewhere between, I guess, 15 and 20, let's see, because I don't want to be here forever, and obviously I'd be doing like 400 per set, something like that. I'm only kidding. I'm also going to do them on my knuckles because I've got a very, very bad wrist and I can't do them like that. However, if you can, choose whichever way you want, or if you have push-up handles, even better. So we go straight in into our push-ups in 3, 2, 1. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Keep going. 14, 15. With me, we'll get to at least 20, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, boom. All right, so as I say, pick a number of reps or AMRAP, as many reps as possible, but don't quite fail. This is very, very important. 1 to 2 reps short of failure and you should be good. As I say, I'll do it with 20 reps, give or take, because otherwise we're going to be here for quite a while on the video. Some of you may be only able to manage to squeeze 10 out, others may get 50. So we're going to try and meet somewhere in the middle. Grab yourself a drink. We are going to go for a 90-second to 2-minute rest, there or thereabouts, and then we go again for another 2 sets. It's important to note on the push-ups, something that we see a lot is that the hand position is out there. That is not where you should be on a push-up. You need to get your elbows tucked in to around 45 degrees. It's really important you do that, because otherwise you're going to end up with a very, very bad shoulder. So changing your hand position to something like push-up handles can be very beneficial for that, because it helps to set you in the right position. But try to discipline yourself as well. Bring your hands a little bit further back, tuck your elbows closer to your sides, and you'll get more out of the push-up for a much longer time, because you're not going to injure yourself. If you're up out there, you're putting loads and loads of stress on your AC joint, which you don't want. It can get inflamed. The rotator cuff, the muscles that run underneath the AC joint, they can get into all sorts of bother. So try to master your push-up position. And it doesn't matter whether you've got to do eccentrics, loading down slowly, or if you have to do them on your knees. It's totally cool, because ultimately, as long as you are working as hard as you can work, you're going to get the results. If you can do 50 push-ups with your full body, but you're choosing to do 20 on your knees, you're not going to get anywhere. But in the same vein, if you can't do any push-ups on your feet and hands, and you're only moving 6 inches, you're still not going to get anywhere. Do what is right for you. Work within your ability where you can safely get results. Always manage that risk versus reward. Right, enough of me talking. Second set. So, dumbbells come up. We get our position. We tuck our shoulder blades in. Dependent on where you want your grip position, we start in 3, 2, 1. Up and squeeze. Steady down. Feel the chest stretch. Pause. Squeeze. Steady down. Feel the chest stretch. Pause. Squeeze. As I say, if you feel this in the front of your shoulder rather than in your pecs, this is a bad position for you. Don't do it. Don't push through it. If you are feeling it in the front of your shoulder rather than your pecs, turn the dumbbells like so. Halfway. Stretch. Feel the pecs. 5 more. Stretch. Feel the pecs. Notice my tempo. Always under control. 4 more. Stretch. 3 more. I can really feel the top of my chest burning like mad now. 2. Nothing on my shoulders, which is the important thing. Stretch. 1 more time. Down, stretch and pause. Squeeze up. Bang. And then safely back onto the floor. Immediately come off your bench, straight down onto the ground. Again, AMRAP, 2 reps short of failure, or stick with me. Your choice. Remember that elbow position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Keep going. 13, 14. Make it burn. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Boom. Oh. Right. I can feel my chest lighting up a little bit now. So we're going to rest for another 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And then we go in for a final set. Grab yourself a drink of water, like I'm about to. Look at that. That's the magic of cinema right there. So, again, we're focusing, getting ourselves prepped for the next set mentally. Obviously, you're probably watching this on your phone, listening to me talk, but don't spend your time pissing around on Instagram during your set. You're going to lose your focus, therefore you're going to lose your motivation, therefore you're going to lose the intensity of the session, which over time is going to accumulate, and guess what? You're going to lose your result, which we don't want. Every rep counts. Get yourself in the right headspace. We all have the right music that we find really picks us up, really motivates us. So if that's the case, once you've got to grips with this workout, and it's very, very simple, I've done that on purpose, you can do this without listening to me. Get some music in your brain. Something that really, really helps me, in fact, that may help some of you. It's not only music, but I listen to a lot of motivational speeches on YouTube. You know the kind of thing, very, very epic music in the background, and an entrepreneur or somebody talking very, very aspirationally and motivationally to you. Gets me in the mood, gets my thought process in the right place. So give that a go. Right, let's pick these up. Going for our last set. So Depending on your grip, where you're comfortable, remember, don't feel anything in the shoulder. Feet settled, glutes tight, back arch. 3, 2, 1, up we go. Steady down, stretch, stretch, stretch. Squeeze up. Steady down, stretch, stretch, stretch. I'm not quite locking out at the top. 3, I'm feeling everything in my chest, not my shoulders. 4, if I feel it in my shoulders, I change the grip. 5, steady, steady, steady. Squeeze. 6. Inhale, exhale on exertion. Inhale, exhale on exertion. We're gonna go for 4 more from here. Stretch out, squeeze up, stretch out, constant control and tempo, squeeze up. 2 more, feel that burn build up. Squeeze, 1 more time, stretch out, and squeeze up, down safely. So set. Again, on your last set, if you want to, you can go to outright failure, but never by compromising your form. It's really, really important, especially with the accumulated volume that these workouts are going to cause over time. So into your push-up position, stick with me or do as many reps as possible. Your choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Boom, done. And there we have our chest specialization bolt on. 2 supersets, 3 sets each, around 12 reps as an average if you have a good amount of weight. If you have lower weights, as many reps as possible if you're limited. We do a flat press with a floor fly. We then do a supinated incline bench press with a push-up AMRAP. Really, really simple. Get great at doing the simple things frequently. Remember, monitor your recovery, stretch adequately, stretch frequently to ensure that this doesn't get the better of you and you start to have issues. If you feel niggles, pains in your elbows and shoulders, especially on pushing movements, this may not be the right specialization for you. If you have shoulder problems commonly, what I would advise is the back specialization much more than this, because that's going to help to rebalance your strength posterior to anterior, especially because I've programmed in a lot of horizontal pulling, which is where the majority of you should predominantly be working. So this is here as a chest specialization if you need it to use alongside your foundation workouts, which are the complexes on the lift up dashboard or on YouTube. Enjoy, stay safe, and of course, if you have any questions, comments box below.